We're trying it again. My sound is working. Yes, it is on again. Alrighty. We're now back in the saddle. The buffering took a little too long. Okay, whoever was in here before, you'd have to sign out and then come back in. But it shows that I am here. So, excuse me. I'm going to refresh my phone. That didn't work. All right. So, hey, I tell you, technology and me. My dad was a radio and TV technician, and if he was around, he could figure it out. So, since I wasn't on here live, I and my father passed in 1978. I rang him up and said, "Hey, Dad, I need some help. I know Mom does the spiritual stuff, but I know you do the electronics stuff. So can you go behind the scenes and manipulate a few things, talk to the gremlins, and tell them your son's got to do a show?" Well, I've been enjoying myself, almost having all of the week off, uh, getting prepared for something big that I'm going to be doing Sunday. And I'll see if I can send you guys the link if I haven't done it. Um, but it's about hybrid children. So there are a few other people. There's one main guy, but there's four of us that'll be channeling some information about hybrid children. These are what they call galactic alien children. Oh, you did. Good, good. So somehow I'll be in the beginning because I'm a newbie to it a little bit. But I might be asked questions. I'll get a chance to ask questions. I'm going to do my best to channel up Akhenaten and Nefertiti again because they were youngsters, when they had their reign in the was 17th dynasty or so. But they're not talking from the past. They're talking about how they're making that connection now. And that particular Zoom link only is going to hold up to 100 people. That's like my Zoom link. Maybe one day I'll be able to do something where I have 100 people on the Zoom. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Um, I'm trying to get as many people that I can. So this way, those of us who are the channelers can be asked the questions. Now, the way they're going to do it is they're going to have you put your question in the chat, and they're going to try to, the guy who moderates, which is also a channeler by the name of Louis Donal. I know him as Luis Suarez. So Donal is a spiritual name and spiritual last name. And so he is the co-founder of High Vibe Channeling Way Showers TV on YouTube. And he's got some high powered people that channel. So the good thing about it, nobody's competing with each other. They are participating and giving forth this information. So that'll be Sunday. It'll be my second time, but I did so well on Mother's Day that they want me to come back on a regular basis. I told them I'm try to do a third Sunday, which would be better for me to do, or a Thursday night. So I have to kind of put myself in the loop for that. So I'm going to bring myself up here. I hope you all are doing well today, Rose and Holly. Um, yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's something that I asked for, and I'm getting ready to step into even a bigger thing with agape. Hopefully, maybe in another 6 months, we'll see. I got to stay healthy though. So today's topic is definitely on the order of peace and how we could bring peace. Like, are some better ways to bring peace into our lives? I mean, I know some ways, I know some basic ways, and I'll talk about them. There's all forms, there's, exercise and things of that nature, meditation, of course, but there's also a golden opportunity to move into higher stratas of energy for ourselves so that we have greater peace. And I'm looking forward to be able to express that level as much as I can. And the way that we can go about it, uh, and I suggest people get together in small groups, whether, like, I like to do it on Zoom because that affords me more time to myself when I'm done. And it really serves a better purpose. I can interact with more people than usual. So let me get these people on here and then I'll start talking. And in the meantime, if you have any questions or comments about peace, please place them in the box. Seem like got more people on here now. Let's see. As always, I'll have to hold it again. In fact, I have to turn it around. Here we go. I'll have to kind of hold it. So, one of the things we always want to be aware of is that we are the ones who can create peace or no peace. And this is, there we go. All right, now I'm live on Instagram. Well, anyway, welcome to Clear Blue Radiance. Before I start talking about peace, peace should bring order of the mind as well. This is Clear Blue Radiance. This is probably podcast number 209 or 210. So I've been pretty consistent. I think I only missed about 6 or 7 podcasts Thursdays in 4 years. So I try to be as consistent as possible to put more information out for all of us to be able to participate in and be able to share. Um, I am a metaphysical and spiritual teacher, mainly of meditation, numerology, working with affirmations and things of that nature to help all people. It doesn't matter where you are on the culture civilization spectrum. I'm here to help as many people as possible. And many of you know I give courses and classes and workshops, and I'm creating more and more as I go along. One of the things people may or may not know is that I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40 plus years. And I didn't even think about using that term like that because when I started my Circle of Grace One, which is in honor to my mother, who was the first grace in my life, my first teacher of anything that was metaphysical or spiritual, I wasn't thinking of myself as being a counselor. I was thinking of myself as a student and soon to be teacher because I was doing a lot of things. How could I say this? I was doing a lot of things on the side, and so I could do this. I'd have one job, but my focus was really learning how to master tarot cards, learning how to master numerology. And this is when I was like fresh out of college, in 1974. And July 2nd is when my mother was talking about, she would sure like to start a circle. She has friends in the Rosicrucians, friends in a Stara group that she would meet with, and she had many other friends on different levels. And I can see why she had that because um, in my earlier years, people were inviting me uh, to witness some of the ceremonies, Yoruba ceremonies. And some of those people that did the Yoruba who were doing the counseling and the readings, man, they were showing me stuff like candle flame readings, putting a white porcelain plate behind the flame, and as you gaze through the flame, you start seeing images, and then you use the plate up close against the flame to etch what you were seeing. I was also more of a numerologist and a dream analyst back then in my early years. I also worked very well with the crystal ball to focus and be able to see. Now, some people say, yeah, you don't see anything in a ball. I don't listen to that only because I know what I'm seeing. And I know there's a reflection from in here, but a reflection in it. And I can, you pass out and you see things. Sometimes it's good to study with other people, but when you have it raw, like I had it in the beginning, and I mean raw, I'd get, my up here buzzing, back of my head buzzing, and hearing clicking sounds, flute sounds, violins in the distance, hearing winds, rustling leaves, and then voices. I was getting it raw. It was just rolling right out. So, but I was fortunate. Me, her friends, and then my own friends later that kind of helped me slow that down a little bit so I wasn't chasing after it. So, one of the things I needed to have more so than anything else was peace of mind. Unfortunately for myself, I had been introduced to Tai Chi Chuan, the study of Tai Chi, in my beginning of my senior year at what is called Bard College, one of the most expensive private liberal arts colleges imaginable. If you have people that want to go there, they better get a whole lot of grants and fellowships because Bard, with its tuition and everything, and books and lodging, that thing is up to $67,000 a year, close to it for tuition. When I was there, it was like 3,200. And that was back in the 70s. So you want to always prepare. Peace is the biggest thing that people look for. People look for love and romance, but they also look for peace of mind. People quietly claim it to themselves. I want peace of mind. I want to experience greater peace. So I have no worry, no stress. And we're living at a time where stress is being quadrupled because of things happening politically and in other areas beyond the social, especially when the thing that happened between Chauvin and George Floyd. And mind my own business, someone texted me, hey, tune into this. And then you're seeing it live. And it's like the last time I felt something like that bad, is when George Bush Jr. had the news televised the war in Iraq, which was very horrendous. You go on every news station, you could see it. And I'm saying, who does that? What kind of mind does that? That stresses whole people out, families, children, especially. And that's not kicking out the spouse, but children can go and see that. And that is ingrained into the subconscious, into the brain, into the heart. You never forget. So it is like peace. Peace is something that we don't want to forget. You don't want to be placed in a position where you can't grab onto peace. And what you have to do, you have to learn how to create it. The conditions are there, right? Circumstances are there, conditions are there. But what do you do to set it up for yourself? So here I am on Resonance Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics YouTube channel. And I'm usually here every Thursday. And today's topic is when you are looking for peace. Make sure I'm reading it. When you're looking for peace, become more heart centered. So the title is When You Are Looking for Peace, Become More Heart Centered. And you're going to ask yourself, well, what do I do to become heart centered for peace? Heart centered to focus to my heart chakra, that realm of compassion and unconditional love and grace is embedded there. Motherhood is there too. So we might be seeking, hey there, Jackie, great to see you on. So we may be seeking, hey, Jovita, she's over here on Instagram. So we might be seeking more so now than ever before. But the thing we want to do the most is establish a some kind of regimen so that we're always thinking about peace and putting it into motion, creating it for ourselves. So one of my questions are, and it's not a hard question. The question is, are you seeking peace? Meaning if you don't have any peace, are you going about your day seeking peace? And if you already are experiencing peace, what are you doing to maintain it? Or what are you doing to increase it? Another question is there anything in particular you must do when you're seeking peace, or if you already have some peace, you know it's there, you know it's here, but you're trying to put it here as well? And what are you doing to gain the peace? Just three basic questions. And they can be answered anyway because we're all different, but we do have many things in common, especially those of us who are students of metaphysical world teachings. Spiritual, meaning the light, the eternal light, the higher self. We're studying that. Or you're able to link up with ancient ancestors and current ancestors within your own lineage of mothers and fathers, grandparents, great grandparents, aunts and uncles, siblings. Hey there, Stoke Culture. How you doing? So its peace is perhaps one of the foremost, if not the most, sought after thing element for ourselves. Now, some people say, well, change your diet, then you're not so nervous. Well, it takes more than changing how you eat. Some people say, well, get out there and exercise more. It's more than that, but exercise does help, and changing the way you eat does help, as well as getting more rest. And I'm one who needs a lot of rest, and sometimes I go to bed after 11 o'clock at night, sometimes after 12, sometimes after 1. But because I'm for myself, I can afford to sleep longer. What I don't do is go to bed too early. If I go to bed like 9 o'clock, I'm going to stay awake until midnight because I've done it for over 30, 40 years of not going to sleep until after 1 or 2 o'clock, sometimes 3 o'clock, sometimes 4 o'clock. Sometimes look up and see the sunrise and go, oh, here I am again. So there are many times when I try to make those adjustments, and we have to make them. But what's going to happen though, the more that we settle in to a better way of stoking the flame of peace in our own lives, then what happens is we shift. Like you kind of think of it, Mother Earth is going to shake off some folks. She's going to stir some things. Why? Because she's growing. This is why earthquakes can occur because she's growing, she's expanding. Plates are going to shift. And we would think, can we control that? And I would say, look, if Mother Earth is going to shift some plates, we just need to be in a better location. If Mother Earth wants to open up or reopen up a volcano, we just need to be out of its range. If Mother Earth feels like throwing us inclement weather, we have to be prepared as much as we can. But the most important thing is to find our natural rhythm so that peace can manifest in our own lives. So when we think of this now, how do we go about acquiring peace? Well, again, people can do it through the way they eat. We all shift in our diet at times. Yes, Holly says something very important. He says, when we do have peace, that we retain it by not replaying offenses, that's things that got us upset, and negative things in our minds. This is a great way to neutralize frustration. Yes, because when you don't have peace, it comes from being frustrated, comes from being angry about things. It comes from melancholy and sadness. It comes from addictions and other habits that pull us backwards. Sometimes it's our own way we talk to ourselves. Some people never get an opportunity to experience peace. I remember a person, he's no longer on the planet. He passed away a long time ago in the 1990s, early 2000s. And the problem was he was a person that fell off into drugs, got himself out of drugs, but drank a lot. And then he had a lot of children. And I remember that his own son, little boy, wanted to learn how to play guitar. So instead of, how we say, giving him the emotional mental support, he would yell and scream at the son. His son was about 9 years of age. He wanted to learn how to play guitar. And I could play it to some degree. I could teach him the basics, basic chording. But his father didn't realize that the language that he was using upon his own son was creating frustration, self hatred, self doubt, illusions, falsehoods, you name it. And one day I heard the son trying to practice on his own. And I had a sore throat at the time, so I really couldn't teach him because my throat was bothering me. And he was yelling and screaming, and he called his son all kind of names because he felt his son was not practicing the guitar the way that I was trying to show him. So basically, rather than get on my phone in the bedroom in his house upstairs, I wrote out a letter. And I let him know that by yelling and treating his son that way over a lesson that I'm guiding him through is not going to bear fruit. And if it does, it's going to be the most bitter fruit. I had to tell him that within about 10 years or so, that kind of language over his son's life was going to cause his son to get in trouble with the law and wind up in jail. And sure enough, 10 years later, that's where the son was. Why? He didn't even want to be around his father. He figured he might as well go hang out with his buddies in jail. Father didn't get it until the son came out later. Father really didn't get it until the father's younger brother came home from prison from another state. And after a while could, stay a weekend or so. Then he began to understand. So we're all seeking peace, from little ones to the big ones. Every last one of us is seeking peace. Yes, Jovita says it this way: it's trusting that peace is not found in fixing others, but in loving ourselves enough to let go. See, that's the thing. There are lots of toxic situations, a lot of it. Toxic city. Instead of saying toxicity, I would say toxic city. There's a lot of that. And sometimes people are drawn to you because you're not displaying any non-peace energy. You are displaying some level of peace, and they want to grab hold of it, but they can't maintain it. So there are different ways. I used to sometimes had to just get away from people. And it's funny, I worked in a what they call a botanica, an herb shop where people go and get readings. I was one of the readers, and it was two other people, two other readers. And those two readers didn't often get along. And they didn't get along often with the owners. And then they tried to all draw me into it. Two owners of the two people who were constantly against each other. But when I would leave there, because I worked there 6 days a week, when I left there, I was fortunate that I knew something about the study and the practice of Tai Chi because I learned it my beginning stages in my senior year of college. And many times being out on Long Island, there were numerous schools where I can go to. And I found a few. And I started to study it long term. The interesting factor is something like studying Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, walking, all of these things are helpful. And you can ask me questions. Javita has asked an important question. She says, what's been the most powerful shifts for you, Francis, since recognizing your inner power? The greatest shift is an awareness. I have always been aware of my surroundings. I'll say that. Number one, I'm always aware of my surroundings, and I do my best to remember what's in my surroundings. Because that's important. For those of us who may have grown up in neighborhoods, neighborhoods, a golden timeline, 7-Eleven, where there's rough areas. You know, many people grew up in them as children. How did they find their way out? Well, some were fortunate. They hang with the right crowd, the right adults beyond themselves, beyond their own families, to link up with to play sports. I had some friends that linked up with people who studied martial arts so they could learn self defense, but eventually they got past the self defense. They're still martial artists today. They're jujitsu black belts, third and fourth degree, snooker's rule black belts, fourth and fifth degree. They've devoted their time. But what did that do? That sharpened their skills of awareness and remembrance. To pick wisely your friends, to pick wisely who your mates should be, to pick wisely where you need to be in order to maintain your peace physically, and then internalize and do it from the inside out. So, one of the, I would say, the greatest shift was an awareness of where I was at all times, and especially how I feel. That's highly important. When I get up in the morning, what am I feeling? Am I feeling that I could go outside, be safe, stay inside and be safe? Will I remember the things that transpired the day before so I don't make the same mistakes again? See, there's things that we have to, it's sort of like a laundry list. You know, you're looking through this list that you have every day for yourself. What's on that list that helps you to foster greater peace? Golden Timeline 711 says, what about when the universe uses relationships as a mirror to bring awareness to what needs to be acknowledged about your shadow self. Well, that always happens. Before we call it the shadow self, years before we had the term the shadow self, my late mother used to say, "You better clean out your closet." I said, "What? You better clean out your closet." I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "You, you, mister, what are you afraid of? And when you're not around others, are you still the same? Or do you switch up and show something else?" And often I was, she taught me how to laugh at myself. She said, "Look, if you think those friends of yours who study in martial arts are the baddest son of a guns on the street, I tell you, they're not. The ones who don't study are badder than they are." I said, "What?" He said, "That's right." The street warrior who has no teaching is living in the street, has greater instincts like a cat. I said, she's right. So here's this thing. I've learned to pay attention to how I'm feeling when I get up in the morning. What is that feeling telling me about? Now, I don't go into worry mode. And we all got financial situations that are bothering us, relationship energies that are bothering us, toxic situations. But this is what I learned to do. Now, I've been doing this stuff for 50 years, but in the last 20 years, I've found myself. I'm talking about when I hit 50, I really found myself and decided, I said, you know what? I have to make better choices, better decisions. I need to look at what I'm doing. I need to be consistent to match my teaching with my living and being. So when someone asks me a question, other people ask me, "Well, what do you do about this, about that?" I said, "Go by what it feels like. And if you're not feeling you're supposed to be doing such, don't do it because you go against yourself." That's important. You don't want to cross yourself up. You don't want to go against yourself because usually what happens is because of the people around us, we go by our thoughts. Well, I think I should do this. When your heart says, "No, you need to stay home." We need to stay home. In fact, I'm going to make it possible that we stay home. And your body will send out a signal, and you will stay home. You'll start yawning. You'll feel like, "Hey, I don't have to go out and spend anything. You know what? I'll invite a few friends over. See if they want to hang out, we watch some movie. Maybe we'll have a Pacific night of the week. We call it a movie night. We have a family night. That's when, parents get together and they bring their children together for sleepovers. Why? Because they know where their child is at. Well, as an adult child, still growing, I want to give myself something to do. So I look at what skills do I have. I like to paint, I like to draw, especially with a regular writing pen. I get an art pen, and I like to sketch with one of these. It's fun. Can't make no mistakes. But if you do, it's okay. Go someplace where I can draw some musicians playing, singers singing, or go in a restaurant and just sketch the place real fast. The shift that Jovita mentioned and the shift that Golden Timeline is stating, our life experiences is the teacher. From that are the people. From that are conditions and situations between what we are experiencing And we have to learn somehow to turn the dial. It's like when you're cooking food, got something in the oven. Do you leave it all the way up? Or do you leave it at a temperature that you can smell it? You know something's cooking in the oven. You're not going to fall asleep. You're going to check on it. It's the same if you go out and go for a walk. I know people go to a park and they put in the buds right in the ear and they're walking. Well, there's people out there riding bikes. There's people out there on roller skates. There's people out there on skateboards. And sometimes they're not paying attention to the surrounding area where there are people. And they're weaving in and out. So you got to be like an animal. You got to have antennas on your back to know what, hey, and pay attention to images that pop up in your mind so that you know that there's something going on around you so that you're not hurt in any way. We definitely don't need accidents of any kind to remind us to remain alert. Pay attention to your surroundings as much as you can. And this is why sometimes people go out for a good walk. They go to a gym and work out to establish some kind of rhythm so that they can exercise their body, keep their body in good shape, toned as much as they can. So if you have a hobby, let that hobby, you got a musical instrument, play piano, saxophone, violin, bell drum, you name it. Just play. Maybe you understand how to laugh your way into peace. Then do it. Like what they call laughter yoga. Maybe you like creating with your hands. Do it. It's important. In fact, when you do something that's creative, that came from here and here, you actually can replicate peace. You can bring the peace out of your heart. Get your heart into it, as they say. Become heart centered. Then peace can matriculate within you and manifest, materialize into your life, into your surroundings. Yes, Jovita says trust your intuition. Golden timeline. Glad to see you here. The best teacher is experience. So everything we're seeking to do is, another term for shadow self is lower self, but it's the self that we don't necessarily want people to see. Yeah, I'm a Pisces. I got a dragon in here too. And I had to learn how to deal with that dragon energy. I had to learn how to harness it. I'm glad I studied Tai Chi for many years to harness it. So it could be in its proper place and not all over the place. It's the same with the ego. It should act as a filter. It should not be all over the place. It should be in place. So when we think about peace, you can write about peace. You can journal it, right? You can say, well, I'm going to do such and such and such and such so that I can create peace in my life. We already know that the way that we speak over our own life will make something happen a little later down the line. So we got to be aware that our words are potent. They are embedded with energy, with our thoughts and with our feelings and images and other energies. And we need to overcome being too emotional, being anxiety driven, being fear driven, um, being angry, being depressed, being addicted to things that eventually throw us off base, that pull us away from the heart. Many times we need to step in to the heart. And what I'm learning in these last 5, 6 years is sometimes you don't have to overly protect yourself. You just need to engage the energy. That's what Tai Chi does. Tai Chi works off of a circle and a straight line that powers itself on the inside or on the rim of the circle. But Tai Chi does first, it blends, it neutralizes opposing forces. Hey there, Barbara. Golden Timeline says, we are not tired from work. We are tired from being someone we are not. That's Carl Jung, Jung. Then Barbara Ewan says, greetings. Those dragons have been showing more on a regular basis. Yeah, we don't control dragons, we don't control unicorns, they control us. So they say, hey, you need to step out. That no, I don't want to step out. No, you need to step out and express yourself. I don't want to do that. No, you need to take off your alcorn and open up your third eye. I don't want to do that. These energies will cause you to do what you're supposed to do. And then if you're not doing anything, you don't feel their presence, you've arrived. So we always have to learn how to pay attention to the feeling process. That's why Reverend Ike said, let the feeling get the blessing, but make sure you choose wisely first. Because you don't want to choose the blessing that's anger. You want to choose the anger because you're going to get blessed by more anger. You don't want to be out in the wilderness of life and cussing up a storm because that's what's going to come back. The more emotional punch behind a thought, a pattern of behavior that will matriculate, build up, get marinated in here and here, and roll back onto you, or you're going to walk into it. So, peace can be regained. Peace can be regained. You can have more peace, but it's up to you to find it within yourself, to bathe in the awareness and the remembrance of peace for yourself and then create it. Sometimes you have to recreate it. You sometimes you got to look at the memory system. There's certain things that we hold on in our memory about peace. What makes us enjoy peace? Some people say it's a good meal. Some people say it's a long walk with friends, or I walk my dog. I had a friend in New Jersey. Not only did she walk the dog, but she had a cat. And the cat would walk with the dog and her. And when I visited one weekend, because we were throwing a party for a friend, it was amazing. She said, if you get lost, the cat knows the route. I said, get out of here. She said, yeah. Tell the cat, Henry. I said, the cat's name is Henry. She said, yes. She says, I call him Henry Montague. Just say Henry Montague, and he'll show you the way. And that cat walked me all the way around. And it was no problem because the cat's protector was the dog. Who would have thought? It was the most peaceful walk I've ever had with two animals because they're always alert of their surroundings. We learn from them how to have more peace in our lives. And what can we do to have the peace in our lives? And sometimes we have to work at it. I'm not perfect at what I'm doing. There are days I have to catch myself before I say something. But if I'm in that zone where I get up like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning now, and when I get up, I look at my journal and a new day, and I decide in that new day, I have a new person in here. There you go. So my thing is to get in touch with my heart. I said, when you are looking for peace, become more heart centered. Go here first. What does my heart say? Master Montauk Chia, who has taught a lot of Tai Chi and Qigong, he would say, learn to smile into the heart and then let the heart smile back to you. Put that etheric energy, cook it up like a soup, like a salad. Really go within and go by what you are feeling, not what you're thinking peace should be like. Because once you could feel it, what it is for you at that very moment, then you can create a whole new timeline, a whole new paradigm for yourself where there's nothing but peace there. We know every day something's happening outside your home, outside your body, and you can't hide all the time. You can't you can't go, okay, well, I just got to sit here and wait till things kind of, you know, get quiet. There's sometimes you learn that through the power of your own way that you meditate. Let me hold my phone better. The whole time you meditate for a longer period of time, you can begin to create an image outside of yourself. Where if you know your neighborhood, how your home is situated, you could actually project to the front, to the north, east, west, south of your home and begin to envision what you want to experience and tie your emotions with it. And then that allows you to have an immediate experience right inside your home before you step outside. And if you keep seeing from inside your home that all is clear and it's pleasant and people are chit chatting away and children are playing with their animals and animals are playing with themselves and it just goes on and on and on, you are creating anew. And that's what you want to be able to do. Create for yourself. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Reverend Brandon is my good friend there. Um, so the thing is, you always want to paint a new, like an artist, a choreographer, a filmmaker, photographer. You always want to create something new for yourself because you're going to have the life's experiences. And there are going to be the moments where you're going to switch up. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you got to fight for your peace. Sometimes you can create the peace through an inner sense of love for yourself and an inner intention for yourself that no matter what's happening outside me, I'm going to have, I'm going to establish, I'm going to build, I'm going to create peace within me. And the more that you do that, yeah, I'm trying. The thing is, you want to maintain that vibrancy of peace. You want to have it going on the inside. And once you're able to feel yourself do that, hold that energy and build it up on the inside, eventually, like the book that I wrote, Radiant Heart, it's got to come on out. It's got to show up in your auric field. It's got to show up in your life, in your surroundings. People often ask me, why do you laugh so much? I said, because it's my choice. See, if I can laugh, I'm not laughing at them, I'm laughing at me. on how I'm responding to something. But I know that laughter is healthy, joy is healthy, happiness in itself is healthy, having serenity is healthy, tranquility is healthy. These are all parts of peace. We want to establish a sense of greater peace for ourselves. Most of the time, if you ask yourself a question, you might find yourself answering with the word peace. You might go within yourself and ask earnestly and honestly, what do I really want to have today? If I could have anything else, what do I need to have? And you might say, well, whatever it is that I need to have, it's got to have peace, it's got to have harmony, it's got to have happiness or joy, not only for me, but the people around me. I want to envision peace, love, harmony, and happiness. I want to feel that peace, love, harmony, and happiness. I need to feel it here first. And you know, if you're feeling it with yourself, you know, outside yourself, those who come in touch with you, strangers, family, friends, you name it, neighbors, co-workers. If your chi of happiness is high enough, everybody's going to feel it. It's going to be rolling off your hands and rolling off your body when you embrace other people because you're striving to come from the inside to the outside. It's learning how to control your own emotions and your thoughts. Because those are the two places, how you're thinking and how you're feeling. If they're not on the same page, there's going to be dissension. And your spiritual essence, energy, your higher self is not going to be able to get through to be in the heart, to be in the rest of the body, to bring greater life into the world that you are creating in this very moment for yourself. So you want to begin to study yourself more. You get that phrase, what makes you tick? What gets your creative juices flowing? What makes you very happy with life, your life? You take a deep breath on that. Know that we are the creators of everything that goes on in our life. So you might as well start creating peace. Creating so much peace that you begin to feel the peace. Wherever you go on your property, you're feeling the peace. Wherever you have sent that energy ahead of you, you're going to experience peace. You might experience some other things that are not quite in place, but you will learn to establish yourself, set yourself in place by loving yourself unconditionally and then experiencing peace. Do those two first. Love yourself more today than you did before. Be clear about what you are desiring to do or have more in your life. Then create the image and put the emotional feeling with the image. When you do that, then there's a divine precipitation, I call it. That means an opportunity for you to experience peace being manifested into your life. You don't have to look outside yourself. You're going to look within. You're going to embrace your emotions and your thoughts from within. You're going to look for you. You're going to embrace yourself. So, what we're going to do here is a meditation where it's heart centered. And you're not looking for peace. You're going to tell yourself, I am the peace that I've been seeking. So just take a moment and just remind yourself that you have always been peace. You're going to realize that you are the peace that you seek. You have always been this peace and more. But you know this peace is present. You see it in the eyes of siblings and children and relatives and plants and other people. You are becoming the peace that you're seeking. You're becoming the peace because you're remembering you are that peace. You're remembering that you are this loving, endearing peace. Your remembrance is important. And along with that, you want to love that part about yourself. You bestow that much love upon yourself, your shadow self will go, it'll try to run from you. But guess what? It'll run into the circle of peace, harmony, happiness, unconditional love. It won't run away anymore, it'll run to you. It won't put things aside. You won't put yourself aside. You won't let people interrupt your peace. Because to you, peace is your medicine. Peace will be always your medicine. Because peace is something that you desired from the day you were born. So you're not going to let people call you up and talk you down with negativity. You're not going to let people show up in your residence speaking crazy stuff unless your higher self says to listen. You see, we all have an opportunity to feel this peace as medicine. If we can establish this inner peace, we won't go wrong. So here's a short meditation, then I'm going to sign off. I just want you to close your eyes if you're not driving a car or riding a bike anywhere. Just kind of close your eyes. And I want you to place your awareness on the center of your sternum, because right back there is where your heart meets underneath and sits between your left lung and your right lung. But I just want you to sit in this space in your heart. And I want you to feel your deepest, deepest love for yourself. Deepest love for yourself. And know that you shall always embrace peace first. Begin to envision yourself planting a basket of seeds, and it's nothing but peace seeds. Sprinkle them, push them into the ground. Take some of them seeds and ingest them for yourself. Those seeds are you on a completely different level. You are a different kind of seed. You are a loving seed. You are a different kind of seed. You are the kind of seed that when others see you, eye to eye, heart to heart, can hear you speak, they know without any doubt that you are the personification of the ultimate peace. And you know what that is? That's silence. Try to take your meditations to the point of silence. Because when you get there enough times, peace is there automatically waiting on you. Meaning that even in your deepest moments of meditation, you will feel the peace inside yourself. You will see and feel the peace descend into you. You will know, you will feel, you will see, and you will feel anchored by the ultimate peace. Anchor your life with peace. Become the visionary of unconditional love, grace, compassion, greater understanding, intuitive sense, clairaudient sense. Just know that you could mushroom this energy out of your heart, because you are like the key. You are the key to your own peace. You are the key to your own peace. I want everybody that's listening to just embrace that moment. When you do that, know that you could do that level of peace in the moment of silence, because that's where you want to take it. Take it into the realm, into the plateaus, into the paradises called silence. And all other things must follow. If you have any questions about this, I probably will for myself. Email me at iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. That's iam.circleofgrace with the number one at the end at gmail.com. Or if you're on Instagram, leave a message on Instagram with a question. And those of you that are here on this YouTube channel for Resident Essentials, you can also just email me at iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. All right, everybody, I love you unconditionally. As Akhenaten and Nefertiti, Mother Grace, and Grandma Charlotte and myself will say. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. Thank you for joining me on Clear Blue Radiance today with this wonderful topic, all about peace. But where can you find it? Start in the heart. Take care, everybody. May you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to drink me some more water. And thank you, Jovita _9, inner underscore glow underscore wellness dot biz. Thank you for being here. And may you all have one of the greatest rest of your days. Bye now. And I think I'll be on here next week. See, next week is, yeah, I should be here next week. Next week should be the 5th, I believe. Take care, much love and grace. As we all say, may my grace be your grace too. Take care now. All right, everybody over here. Whew, made it real big. Rose Jefferson, Holly Hemmett, Jackie Fillmore, Stoke Culture, Golden Timeline 711, Barbara Ewing, Island Empress. Thank you all for showing up. It was a great one. I think that's all the people. But thank you for being here. Enjoyed having you here. Remember, if you have any questions, just send them in an email, iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com. Or sometimes you can put them here in the chat. You can come back and in the comments section and lay out some more information. Thank you very much for being a part of my life and helping me spread the word. Alrighty. It's time for me to sign out. Catch you all next week, hopefully at the same time. Be well.